there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Today, I have with me the Grey Poupon eating Bentley Continental GT. I can't with the accent, but this thing is an absolute freaking behemoth. Look at the B on the front. Do you see this B? That B stands for... I want to say the B word, but that gets you demonetized. Oh my God! Guys, this thing has a freaking W12 underneath the hood, 3.3 seconds, 0 to 60, 624 horsepower, and more torque than I can even fathom. So I'm not even gonna bother. This thing was redesigned for 2020, so this is actually the first year for the redesign of this car, and you have these gorgeous freaking headlights with just crystals inlaid everywhere. There's an 8-speed dual clutch transmission mated to the gorgeously smooth W12 with turbochargers that are as big as your freaking head. Let me just show you what's underneath the hood of this thing. Unveil the 626 horsepower, 660 foot-pound of torque monster underneath the hood. Look at this thing. It's an absolute just... like, how can this engine be so big and so beautiful? 6 liters, like that's 2 BMW motors just crammed together. The Bentley logo just shining here on the front of the vehicle with the matte black outskirts and these massive Pirelli P0 all-season tires. Bentleys are actually all-wheel drive, which I didn't realize before, with 275 35 by 22-inch wheels. This thing's an absolute monster. Look at the size of those brake calipers. This thing is a freaking behemoth, so of course it needs brake calipers that big. This car has recently been ceramic coated and paint corrected. And here on the back, I do want to mention 315 by 30 by 22 tires on the rear. These things are absolutely just chunky. I love the rear taillights, the amount of detail and layers that are inside of it, alongside this active aero style rear wing, which I think is more for styling probably than aero. This thing is an absolute freaking behemoth, and it is not going anywhere aerodynamically. Before we take this thing on a ride, however, I did want to mention how so chunky this trunk is. I mean, you can't be a mob boss and ride around with this thing without having space for at least a few bodies here in the trunk. This car was recently detailed, so I don't want to mess the seats up, so I'm going to keep my feet on all of the very nice soft surfaces. Oh, that was just a cover. All right. I'm not going to close myself in here, but this trunk, as you can see, is plenty big enough, and it even has a little soft close bit on the trunk. Everything on this car is so chunky and just so precisely crafted. Hand built in freaking Britain. I mean, are you kidding me right now? Inside of this handcrafted Bentley, you've got this gorgeous Bentley Motors Limited Crew England placard with a light up Bentley badge here on the door frame. On the door card in the interior of this car, you have this beautiful quilted leather finished with carbon fiber here on the top, more leather on the top, and leather all over the dashboard. The steering wheel is bespoke and so smooth with this quilted pattern going all around the outside of it, and the leather just continues onto the bottom. Convenient heated steering wheel button, so your little fingies aren't going to get cold. And whenever you want to turn it on, the start stop button is located right in the center. So why don't we just go ahead and do that? Gosh, the sound of a W12 firing up is just insane, and you immediately feel the air ride suspension start to raise as soon as you get inside of the car. Whenever you want to turn off or turn on the air in the center vents here, you just press this in to let them come on, and you pull them out in order to take it off. The screen on the inside of this thing is super high resolution, and you can virtually change anything that you want. It's super good looking, and it's just, I mean, it's $224,000 car, so it better be good looking. You also have the beautiful Bang & Olufsen sound system, so you could impress your friends by sharing very high quality music. And one of my favorite features about Bentleys is the fact that the headliner is made completely out of leather. You also have a huge panoramic sunroof, Bentley crest here on the back of the seats, and more quilted leather down the back along with the perforation so that you can stay nice and cool on a hot summer day like today. Throw this thing into sport mode by selecting this little dial here, and it's going to open up the engine for us. So engine's still warming up, so we're not going to do anything too crazy, but I'll get a little bit of rat pat for you. It is automatically rev limited to 3,000, so it's being very responsible. But listen to the little pops and cracks here between the shift points. Not shift points, but after you let it go. Gosh. More carbon fiber all along the dashboard, more leather. Pretty much every single thing that you touch inside of this car is either very high quality steel or aluminum and has leather around something. Whenever you close the door, this seat belt automatically extends to the back of you, and you've got soft closed doors. All right, so inside of the Bentley Continental GT, I should have just opened the door real quick and the car would have just handed me the steering wheel. This thing, I will tell you, is not designed to be driven fast. This thing is designed to be driven with the windows up, or perhaps slightly cracked, with the AC cranked, your massage seats, your ventilated seats, everything just kind of catering to the driver. And occasionally driven pretty quickly in a straight line. This car is not built for the corners. It is a big boy. This boy thick. This boy thicker than a bowl of ice cream that's been in the freezer entirely too long. The sunroof just kind of being open and just kind of enjoying the drive, enjoying not getting driven, but having a W12 under the hood. So if you want to hear it, you can, but you don't have to. You can just be isolated from the peasants of the world and drive really freaking fast in a straight line and smack a pothole and you won't even notice it. You just kind of just glide over him. It, like, not that I've hit any potholes. Hey, Chris, if you're watching this, I promise I'm being very, very responsible. Even in sport mode though, this thing, the air ride suspension just takes all of the effort out of life. I work at BMW and I have never been in seats that are this comfortable, that have so many varying points of actuation, the depth in which you can customize this vehicle just to perfectly meet the driver's needs. Oh no, okay, turn down. Yes, there we go. Okay, that's how we wanted this to sound. Oh, we're going. But when you want the power, even in Bentley mode, this thing can go 3.3 seconds to 60. Like, what are you freaking kidding me right now? 3.3 seconds 0 to 60 in a car that just kind of wafts and just takes care of you in the corners. Those things don't typically go together. I will say, the paddle shifters are a little bit confused, and they don't really know what they want to do. Like, you're gonna press them, and the car is just really confused about what's going on. Like, you'll hit the paddle shifter, and the car will shift kind of at the same time that you're shifting. It's not a driver's car. It's bliss. It's a high quality living room with a W12 strapped to it. Like, I've never driven a car that is like this. Like, I don't even have anything to compare it to besides like maybe a BMW 7 Series, but like that's not even half the caliber of this thing. This car you can drive slowly or drive quickly in a straight line and be just as happy, but it doesn't inspire you to drive quick. It inspires you just to sit on the highway and let the adaptive cruise take care of all of the driving for you, hold you inside of the lane, and eat your Grey Poupon with a spoon. Not a fork, but a spoon. That's this car. The smell of leather as soon as you open the door, the double paned glass windows that could probably stop a pretty sizable BB without any real hesitation. The incredibly comfortable steering wheel, incredibly amazing. You can see why the mob bosses drive this thing. You can just get the heck out of Dodge with your hand-stitched steering wheel, your hand-stitched seats, and like, I don't know. I don't even have ways to put this thing into words. Like, this car is like it's an experience, not just a car. It's a work of art. The Bentley button, the bees are just everywhere. The bees are in the trap. You've got a large center console that I don't know how to open. Oh, you just lift up on it. It's just very firm. You've got all kinds of amazing things. You've got a wireless charger, which is actually uses, it looks like, yeah, it uses like a little hook to catch your phone, so you can keep your phone exactly where you want it. The active arrow on the spoiler, so you can put the arrow up and down, deactivate the traction control, which I don't see why you would ever want to do, because with 660 foot-pounds of torque, that is how you put yourself into a tree very quickly. The paddle shifters are almost completely silent, which is so cool, and not really something that I've experienced in a car before. The leather-wrapped headliner, the smell, and the presence is why you buy one of these things. There is nothing else like this car on the road. A Rolls-Royce doesn't have the juvenile delight that this thing does whenever you're dumping it straight up in a straight line. This thing feels like you're breaking the law, and you might have like 13 keys in the back trunk, and you might be wanted for money. You might be the guy hunting for money and getting the loan shark deal taken care of. Does that make sense? Did anything that I just say make sense, or did you just watch me just rip this W12 around for a couple minutes and hopefully hit the like button and the subscribe button down below? If you want to see other cool videos that I did, please check down in the description below. I'll be linking a Acura NSX video that I released last week and a Mercedes GTC AMG video that I released 2 weeks ago down in the description below. Thank you, Chris, so much for letting me drive your cars. It has been an absolute pleasure. Bentley, sponsor this video. You can send me some money, send me a car. If you guys have any questions, or if you're located in the Ohio area and would like me to test drive your vehicle and give you a little review, I would be absolutely happy to. And if you would like a BMW and you happen to be in the market, I'm going to link to our page at BMW Cincinnati North down in the description below as well. Hit me up for all of your car needs, and yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video, subscribing, and hitting that like button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Deuces.